I wanted to avoid talking about the Princess of Wales video announcement, but the amount of wild speculation and conspiracy theories and pure nonsense that is perpetuated all over the internet is just too much to ignore, and too many people might fall for it. Some posts have garnered millions of views, and doubtless a large percentage of those have actually believed what these posts have said. And it's no secret that AI can lead to confusion and misinformation and make things very hard to believe sometimes. But some of the claims about this particular video are so ridiculous that I thought I would indeed address them in this video, much to my displeasure. I would rather not have done so, but as I say, because of the amount of misinformation, the wild conspiracy theories, I felt the need to address it. Now, it's right that we are going to have to battle this more and more in future cases that go to court, because people will be submitting evidence and relying on evidence, and this evidence is going to be debated back and forth in court, no doubt wasting a lot of the court's time. But nonetheless, let's deal with some of these. So one of these in particular, from this post here, which I actually quote posted with a debunking video of my own, which now I was going to confine to X as an unlisted video from YouTube, but now I'm going to do it as a proper video so that hopefully more people will see exactly what I'm saying. This post here says, the Kate Middleton video is clearly AI, but members of the public who aren't familiar with the technology will be easily fooled. That might be true if it were AI. It isn't, but there we go. The overblurred background doesn't move, this post says. Not a single breeze moving, a petal, leaf, or blade of grass. It's clearly not real. Now, there's a couple of things at play here. First of all, it really depends on what resolution you watch the video in, because for those that are not aware, now I'm no expert, but for those that are not aware, your videos on different devices will play at different resolutions. You see, I record all of my videos here on 4K. At the moment, my camera is connected to the computer. The computer's recording it as I talk. It's not being recorded into the camera. The computer's recording it through a 4K camera capture card. And that uploads to YouTube at 4K, which is high resolution. It's not the highest resolution that's available, like 8K, like some of the cameras, but it's 4K. For me, I think that's good enough for what I need to do. The Twitter X platform seems to think that 1080p, which is lower than 4K, quite a bit lower than 4K, thinks that that is okay for the vast majority of use cases, which is probably right, to be fair. When you're watching something, you probably don't notice the difference. But this is one of the key points here, because your device, depending on your device, depending on the screen resolution, depending on your internet connection and your preferences and settings and everything else, your device may play this back to you at a different resolution. If it plays it back to you at a different resolution, a much lower resolution than recorded, depending on whatever it's recorded at in the first place, it may not show all of the details to you. So you may miss details. So things may be moving and not look like they're moving if the resolution is so much lower. But in this case, there is movement. So this post is complete nonsense in the first place. Allow me to demonstrate. This is a video snippet of a random section of the video that I took myself. I screen recorded a random section of it and zoomed in. And you can see here, if I press play, you can see the bug flying across above the bench. That red circle there is the path of the bug. Now I replay it a few times so you can actually see what's going on here. Let me play it again. You'll see the bug fly across here. Then I'll show you the red circle flying across. You can see the bug moving in the background. And this is not the only one. There are many of these. Now, if you can't see that, it might be because your screen is not a good enough resolution. You might be that your settings are not set to the right resolution, but believe me, there is a bug flying across this portion of the screen behind the bench here. So this is clearly out in the park somewhere. Now, whilst we're zoomed in closely to this bench, you can see that this bench has quite a nice shine on it. There's probably lighting, because this was obviously a planned recording. There's probably a big lighting rig. If I were to show you my lighting rig here, you can see the light bouncing off me. I've got a big light. Literally, I can touch it here. It's hand distance from me. So this lighting is reflecting off this bench, which is important for the next debunking that I'm going to do for you. Because we move to the next one here. This post here again makes the claim that this is AI. It says, did you hear Catherine, Princess of Wales, etc. She released a video. Only problem is the video is AI generated. Again, making this comment here. There are always artifacts with generative AI. In this case, the stripes on the shirt continue onto the bench. So just get your head around this for a moment. The idea here being that AI, this post suggests, has generated this video, and because it isn't perfect, this post makes the suggestion that the stripes have accidentally continued onto the bench, which is complete nonsense. Because if we come back to this video for a moment, as I told you, there's a significant reflection on this bench here. It's clearly got a shiny surface of sorts. It's high gloss or plastic or whatever. It's a high gloss. Now, if I move this video, it's the original, into frame here, you can see down the left-hand side here, the princess's right arm, the left-hand side of that arm. If I press play on this original video, I'll mute the sound. You just see the reflection of the stripes on the bench. This is not rocket science, and this is not outrageously strange. Just watch this. As she moves and talks, you see a reflection on the bench. Just as you can see on this bit over here on the left-hand side, you can see a bit of a shadow, which is obviously cast from her. The sun, I think, is up in this direction up here. You just see the reflection of her arm on the bench. And yet people are claiming that this is an artifact from generative AI, which is complete rubbish, in my view, of course. The next one to debunk is this one here, because somebody made the claim that the princess's ring magically disappears partway through her talk. Now, I have to make clear that this is not a claim by the Daily Mail. It's obviously a video that was posted on the Daily Mail feed. The Daily Mail watermarked it, and it's either been screen recorded or downloaded at a lower resolution, as I explained at the outset. And you can see that this is a lower resolution. Even though you're watching this now, you're watching the playback on my video through my broadcast, that this is a lower resolution. And I can show you that that's a lower resolution because I'm going to show you a comparison in a moment with the actual video at actual resolution, which is this one here. And you can clearly see the difference in the resolution between these two. On the one behind, the ring is a bit blurry because it's a lower resolution. On the one on the right, you can even see the outline of the decoration on the edge of the ring there. We're going to come back to that one in a moment. That's the debunking video. Move that off to the side for a moment. This video makes the claim that as it goes through, as she's talking, that the ring somehow disappears at this moment here. Now, at first blush, if you didn't think about it, you might think, oh my gosh, they're right, the ring's disappeared. This must be AI, the whole thing's fake. But that's not true, because as I mentioned earlier, this is obviously a lower resolution version of the video. Because if I bring in the better resolution version of the video and put them side by side, you will see that her hands move as she's talking. So this is the same portion, or nearly one of the same portions, and you can see here that the ring is still visible. It blurs slightly as her hands move. Obviously the hands are moving, but this is the video. Now I will mute the volume and I will play this video so you can see this video move all the way through. And I'll leave this playing while I'm talking because I've watched this all the way through a number of times just to hear out what these people are saying. But if you keep your eye on the ring here, you can see it in perfect clarity, and you will see it in perfect clarity the whole of the way through this video. So I'm going to keep talking while you can keep your eye on that ring. And I'm going to say that many people have looked at, quite possibly innocently, have looked at these lower resolution videos and immediately come to the conclusion that this must be fake because they can't see the ring. Now, seeing is misbelieving sometimes. Many people will watch something and they will be completely fooled by it because it looks convincing. And what they see or don't see looks convincing. Keep your eye on the ring. Her hands are moving around. You can see it all the time. Lots of people have questioned about this ring, and quite frankly, it's irritating, whether you wear a ring or not. When I go training, I take my ring off because I don't want to damage the ring or damage my finger while I'm training. If someone has just recently undergone surgery, then they will remove the ring for various reasons. You can still see the ring on her hand. I'm talking so that you can see the entirety of the video. We're just over halfway through. But as I say, seeing sometimes is misbelieving, disbelieving, because people will draw the wrong assumption, the wrong conclusion from what they see. That's not to say that there aren't videos out there that are absolutely convincing. There are some that are quite persuasive and still fake and artificially generated. I'm going to show you one in just a moment before you leave the video to show you how these things can be quite deceptive and absolutely wrong. But as for this video, this ring, this particular claim about the ring disappearing, you can see on the right-hand side, it does genuinely look like the ring's disappeared. But it's because of the low resolution combined with the movement, and whether it was screen recorded or whatever, that's the end of that video. So if you were watching, if you weren't, go back and watch it again. But you can see the ring on her finger for the entirety of that video. Now, I feel that this, I don't mean to sound in any way condescending, but I feel like I am, because these claims are so ridiculous, and I feel the need to spell them out because so many millions of people have seen these posts and are making these claims. And this video here, genuinely, when you look at this here, if you just watched it once or twice, you could probably believe that the ring's disappeared and somehow this is a fake video. But if you do move back and forth like this, you can then see, well, actually the ring is there, because in the intermediate frames, you can see the ring. But because of the low resolution in this video, this version of the video, you can't quite see it. So it doesn't look like it's there. So I get that. I understand that some people are confused by that. But just to confuse you even further, here's a video which I think is hugely distasteful. And I apologize to everyone in advance for me showing you this, because I think it's disgusting, it's disgraceful that someone's produced this, but I have to show you just so that you can see what AI is really capable of. Someone has produced a video and altered the face, which you may recognize. I'm going to remove the volume again. And this looks quite convincing. Actually, if I include some of the volume...
And William and I have been doing everything we can to process and manage this privately for the sake of our young family.
You can hear that it's timed with the audio, and at first blush, again, it could look convincing. I think that's distasteful. I think it's wrong, and it shouldn't have been created. But I show you for the mere purpose of showing you that AI can show something that is deceptive. It can make you believe things that aren't really there. But the claims made about this video are false, in my view. They're just not correct. And I really had hoped that this sort of thing wouldn't be necessary. As I say, we should just wish them well and leave it be. But I felt this was necessary to address the litany of posts making these false claims and leading people to believe things that just are not true. Leave me your thoughts and comments below. And as always, thank you for watching.